Welcome! Today, we're going to dive into the incredible networks that really power our modern world. I'm talking about everything from the roads right under our feet to the satellites way up in orbit. We're going to explore what is basically the fundamental operating system for our entire planet.
And this isn't just some modern idea. It's a principle of power and prosperity that goes way back. In fact, when Napoleon came to power in the early 1800s, one of the very first things he did was pour resources into France's transportation and communication. He just knew. He knew that to build a strong economy, you first have to build the roads and the networks that connect everything.
And wow, has our ability to connect just exploded over time. Think about it. In ancient times, movement was literally limited to the speed of an animal or a person carrying a palanquin. Then, bam, the 18th century brings us the steam engine, completely revolutionizing how we travel on land and sea. The 20th century was all about the highway, and now, here in the 21st, satellites are making physical distance almost totally irrelevant for information.
But everything really starts on the ground. Land transport is the foundational grid. It's that final mile network that gets something from a giant container ship or cargo plane and brings it right to a warehouse or even to your front door. Basically, every global journey, no matter how big, begins and ends on a road.
Now there's a really critical distinction to make here. You've got what are called metalled roads. These are your reliable, all-weather arteries that keep an economy flowing smoothly. But then you have unmetalled roads, which are super common in developing areas. These can be completely washed out by a single heavy rain, bringing all trade to a grinding halt. That one simple difference in infrastructure, it's a huge factor in economic development.
And to give you an idea of the sheer scale of modern infrastructure, get this. North America alone has a full 1/3 of all the motorable roads on the entire planet. That incredible density is exactly what allows its massive, interconnected economy to function so efficiently. And okay, beyond just local roads, we have highways. These things aren't just roads, they are massive engineering projects. They're designed specifically to link the most important cities and industrial zones across huge distances. They really are the circulatory system of a continent.
And we're talking about networks that literally span entire continents. You've got the Trans-Siberian Railway slicing all the way across Russia, the Trans-Canadian Highway linking the Atlantic to the Pacific, and the Pan-American Highway, which aims to connect North and South America. These are truly epic projects that physically stitch together economies on a massive scale.
All right, so now let's shift gears from the land to the vast expanse of the ocean. You see, those continent-spanning railways and highways we just talked about, they fueled the growth of huge coastal ports by getting goods to the water's edge super efficiently. So if land networks are the arteries, then the world's oceans are the superhighways that carry the really heavy load of global trade.
So why is the ocean so dominant? Well, the economics are just undeniable. It's by far the cheapest way to move things. I mean, you don't have to build the route, right? The ocean is just there. And it's perfect for all the heavy, bulky goods that form the backbone of international trade. And here's the key stat. Over 80% of everything traded internationally travels on a ship. 80%.
Now, for centuries, the actual shape of the continents dictated the flow of trade. You had to go the long way around. But then, human engineering came up with two incredible shortcuts that just changed everything.
The first was the Suez Canal, which opened way back in 1869. This 160-kilometer man-made river literally sliced through Egypt, creating a direct link between Europe's Mediterranean Sea and Asia's Red Sea. It was an absolute game-changer for the east-west trade route.
And just look at the impact of that shortcut. A journey from Europe to India was suddenly shorter by over 8,000 kilometers. Think about that for a second. That's a massive saving in time, in fuel, and in money. And it just completely redrew the map of global shipping overnight.
And then, on the other side of the planet, the Panama Canal did the exact same thing for the Americas. It carved a path right through Central America to directly connect the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Once again, it was the case of human engineering conquering geography.
So, we've covered the ground and the sea. Humanity's next great leap, of course, was into the sky. This next phase of connection was all about conquering time and, well, eventually, making distance itself pretty much obsolete.
Air travel brought a totally new equation into the mix. See, it doesn't compete with a cargo ship for bulk goods, it actually complements it. If you're talking about high-value electronics, fresh flowers, or urgent medical supplies, speed is everything. It's the premium option, where you trade massive capacity for just unparalleled velocity. And in the world of aviation, the United States plays an absolutely enormous role. A staggering 60% of the world's air traffic either starts from, flies to, or travels within the USA. That really highlights its position as this central hub in the whole global network of skylanes.
But as incredible as air travel is, the final revolution in connectivity wasn't about moving physical things at all. It was about moving information. And in that world, the goal was to completely eliminate distance from the equation.
And the progression here was just breathtakingly fast. We went from the slow, coded taps of the telegraph to actually transmitting voice with the telephone. Then came fiber optics, sending data at the speed of light through glass cables. And the final step? Just getting rid of the wires completely and beaming data directly from space.
This quote right here, it perfectly captures the power of this final step. With modern satellite internet services like Starlink, all the old limitations of geography just disappear. You can be on top of a mountain or deep in a jungle and you can still be connected to the global network. It is the ultimate conquest of distance.
So when you put all of these pieces together, the land, the sea, the air, and space, what you see is the emergence of a truly hyper-connected planet. It's really a single, integrated system.
So what does this all mean? Let's break it down. The land networks, they're the essential foundation. The oceans, they are the workhorses of global commerce. The skies offer that critical speed for people and priority goods. And finally, the digital networks, well, they've made the transmission of ideas and data instantaneous.
Each layer is totally distinct, but they all work together in concert. This incredible, complex web of roads, shipping lanes, flight paths, and data streams, it's nothing less than the fundamental operating system of our modern civilization.
You know, we've gone from palanquins to satellites in a remarkably short period of time. And that leaves us with one final, pretty exciting question to think about. A world that's connected was once just science fiction. So what's next? What's going to be the next great leap that completely redefines how we move goods, people, and ideas?